Star Trek, all 5 members of Jean-Luc Picard's Stargazer crew explained before taking over command of the USS Enterprise D in Star Trek The Next Generation. Captain Jean-Luc Picard Patrick Stewart served aboard the USS Stargazer, but Star Trek has only revealed a few of his crew members. By the time of TNG, Picard had already served as captain of the Stargazer for 22 years, until he was forced to abandon the ship after an attack by the Ferengi. A Constellation-class starship, the Stargazer launched in 2326, and Picard was a part of the bridge crew by the year 2333 when the ship's captain was killed. Both Star Trek, The Next Generation and Star Trek, Picard revealed some hints about Picard's time in command of the Stargazer, but only 3 other members of the ship's crew have ever been named. Between commanding the Stargazer and 2 versions of the USS Enterprise, Picard remained a starship captain for nearly 50 years. Picard finally accepted a promotion to Admiral in 2381, but he ultimately made a better captain. Picard's time aboard the Stargazer shaped him as a commander, and he remembers his time as its captain fondly. Jean-Luc Picard was a lieutenant commander serving on the bridge of the Stargazer in 2333, when the ship's captain and first officer were killed in action. Picard took over command of the ship, and his actions so impressed Starfleet that they promoted him to captain. Picard remained in command of the Stargazer for 22 years, during which time the ship participated in the Cardassian Wars. In 2355, the Stargazer was attacked by an unknown vessel later revealed to be the Ferengi. Although Picard managed to destroy the attacking vessel with a move later dubbed the Picard Maneuver, the Stargazer suffered severe damage and had to be abandoned. Picard was court-martialed for losing his ship, but was ultimately absolved of all charges. Jack Crusher and Jean-Luc Picard became best friends while they were attending Starfleet Academy, and both were later assigned to the Stargazer. After Picard was promoted to captain, Crusher served as his first officer. In 2353, Jack Crusher was tragically killed during an away mission when Captain Picard was forced to make a split-second decision. Picard saved another officer, but was unable to save Crusher as well. Later, Captain Picard personally returned Jack's body to his wife, Dr. Beverly Crusher Gates McFadden, and her young son, Wesley Crusher Will Wheaton. Wesley initially blamed Picard for his father's death, but later came to understand the difficulty of making life and death command decisions. Wesley later saw an image of his father during a vision quest as he was contemplating his future. Before Jean-Luc Picard became the legendary captain of the USS Enterprise D, he commanded the USS Stargazer, a Constellation-class starship that played a pivotal role in shaping his early career. While the Stargazer has only occasionally appeared in Star Trek canon, it remains a significant part of Picard's backstory, often referenced as the proving ground where he honed the qualities that made him one of Starfleet's finest. The crew of the Stargazer was never as fleshed out as those aboard the Enterprise, but fans have been given glimpses of some of its officers through various episodes, flashbacks, and extended universe lore. Here's a breakdown of the 5 most notable members of Jean-Luc Picard's Stargazer crew, who they were, how they served, and what ultimately became of them. 1. Jack Crusher, Chief Medical Officer and Picard's closest friend. Jack Crusher is one of the most emotionally significant characters tied to the Stargazer, despite being long dead by the time Star Trek The Next Generation begins. As Beverly Crusher's husband and Wesley Crusher's father, Jack played an important role in shaping both Picard's personal guilt and his surrogate relationship with Wesley. Jack served as the Stargazer's chief medical officer and was Picard's best friend. Tragically, he died during an away mission while under Picard's command. The circumstances surrounding his death were never fully detailed in early TNG episodes, but it's clear that Picard has always carried the weight of that loss. In fact, it was Picard himself who brought Jack's body back to Beverly, a gesture that cemented a deep but complicated relationship between the captain and the Crusher family. Jack's legacy continued to haunt Picard for years, both emotionally and morally. The fact that Picard later became a father figure to Jack's son, Wesley, added further layers to this dynamic. Jack Crusher's death was a defining moment in Picard's early command experience, a painful lesson in the consequences of leadership. 2. Lieutenant Vigo, loyal tactical officer and lasting friend. Lieutenant Vigo served on the Stargazer as a tactical officer and was among the most loyal members of Picard's original crew. He is best remembered from the TNG episode Bloodlines, where the villain Daimon Bach seeks revenge on Picard for killing his son during the Battle of Maxia, a confrontation that took place while commanding the Stargazer. Though Vigo didn't receive much screen time, we learn that he remained in contact with Picard after the Stargazer was lost and that he was considered trustworthy enough to be named as a potential guardian for Picard's supposed son, Jason Vigo, who turned out not to be Picard's biological child. Picard's familiarity and closeness with Vigo suggest a bond that survived the trials of command and years of separation. This gesture of loyalty and trust speaks volumes about Vigo's importance in Picard's life and his role aboard the Stargazer. Vigo represents the type of steadfast, moral support that Picard came to rely on, traits he would later surround himself with on the Enterprise. 3. Carter Greyhorse, security officer with a mysterious end. Though only referenced in non-canonical materials and the Star Trek Stargazer book series by Michael Jan Friedman, Carter Greyhorse is a security officer who served aboard the Stargazer during Picard's command. A Native American officer, Greyhorse was known for his spiritual beliefs and calm demeanor under pressure. Greyhorse's story is less explored in televised Star Trek, but in the novel series, he plays a significant role in several major incidents, including boarding actions and counter-espionage threats. His dedication to the safety of the crew and his thoughtful, measured approach to conflict made him a valued officer. Eventually, Greyhorse disappears under mysterious circumstances, believed to have died during one of the Stargazer's most dangerous missions. His absence left a void on the security team and served as a reminder of the constant danger Starfleet officers face, even when their exploits don't make it into the historical logs. 4. Lieutenant Commander Gilad Ben Zoma, the steady first officer. Lieutenant Commander Gilad Ben Zoma was the first officer aboard the Stargazer and perhaps one of the most important figures in Picard's early Starfleet career. While his character didn't appear in TNG, he was developed in the Stargazer novels as a man of discipline and high intellect, serving as a stabilizing influence on Picard during high-stress situations. Ben Zoma often acted as a moral compass and strategic sounding board, pushing Picard to consider alternative viewpoints and take calculated risks. Their dynamic mirrored that of Picard and Riker on the Enterprise, suggesting that Picard developed his mentorship and leadership style through relationships like this one. Ben Zoma's loyalty was unwavering, and his departure from the Stargazer, whether through transfer or death depending on the story continuity, marked a turning point for Picard's command style. He had to learn to rely more on his own instincts, which would shape his more confident, sometimes solitary command decisions later in life. 5. Figus Simonon, a Benzite engineer and symbol of diversity. Perhaps the most intriguing member of Picard's Stargazer crew was Figus Simonon, a Benzite engineer. Benzites are known for their logical thinking, biological need for respiratory apparatuses in non-native atmospheres, and generally non-human approach to emotion and